Hey everybody, Ryan Heinlein here. I want to tell you about the 100-day warm-up challenge that I've kind of put together. This is how it kind of started for me. I didn't intend it to be a challenge, but it's become a challenge and it's a cool thing. Stuck here in quarantine, not going anywhere. My gigs are all canceled over the summer. Got nothing going on. I'm almost done teaching online at the college. We just finished up classes. I've got finals and grades next week, and that's about it. What better time to address some fundamental issues that have come up in my playing? It's been 4 years since I've been doing doctoral trombone work, so I don't get to practice. Back then I was practicing 4 or 5 hours a day. It felt great. Now as a teacher, especially as a band director, jazz band director, things like that, meetings, and having a wife and 2 kids and kid sports and everything, I don't get to practice nearly as often as I used to. And so there are some things that have crept in, some bad habits that have crept in my playing, and I hate it. So what better way than to develop this new warm-up routine for me? And it's not really mine. It's things that I've taken from books and lessons and things. There are a few things that I've added in there. So the first thing was I had to address my issues as a player and come up with goals. So for me, I really wanted to get my flexibility back, slide speed back, and my embouchure has been having some issues where I've started to kind of let the corners of my embouchure go, and it's just I'm not playing very clear. Slide speed is sloppy. I just don't feel as good as I used to on the horn. So I developed this with that in mind. So you do the same thing, where if you've got come up with goals first on what you want to improve on, whether that be something you just want to you are already good at and you want it to be better and take it to the next level, or some deficiencies in your playing that you really want to address. So that's what I did. So I've got this warm-up routine. It's a bit of a beast. The catch is I'm doing it 100 days in a row. Hopefully I'll do it more, but these first 100 days at least, I'm increasing the tempo one beat every day once I get past the long tone part. So first section is long tones. I buzz a little bit, gliss a lot, use long tones, and that's how I really that's when I focus on my embouchure the most. Just retraining my muscles to be in the right spot. So there's some of those, and then I wanted to do lip slurs. I've never been great at lip slurs. I've had a good range. I can get around the horn, but I've never been able to I've always had a shift in my embouchure. I'm trying to get rid of that. So starting lip slurs slow, and making sure that they're very even. This was Dr. Irv Wagner, who's Oklahoma trombone professor at Oklahoma. It was one of his things that I always remember hearing him say in master classes was you want to make sure that they're even. Either all the notes in your lip slurs are even rhythmically and even in sound and importance. Okay, so go through quite a few lip slurs. There's some Remington exercises from the Emory Remington warm-up book that are pretty great. And then the third part, I go to scales, play scales in all 12 keys. You choose any scales you want. You do 2 sets of scales, 3. I'm doing 4. Major scales, just because I think everybody needs to do major scales. If you haven't really practiced scales much, major scales, chromatic scale, 3 forms of minor. So I put major scales in this as well as the harmonic minor. And then after that, I did 2 other scales that I just kind of wanted to refamiliarize myself with, the half-whole diminished scale and the altered scale or diminished whole tone scale. Do those in all 12 keys. With this is where I kind of work in articulation as well. Something that I'm doing since I'm starting slow, I really want to focus on doodle tonguing or double tonguing, any sort of multiple tonguing. Practice it slow first, so no better time to do it than now. So really working on articulation when I do these scales as well. Then we get to the beast. These arpeggios. This is half from the Joe Alessi warm up that I've obtained from friends. I've just expanded it. So go through all 12 keys again, but there are 18 arpeggios in each key. So that's 72, so 216, I think. Don't kill me if I did the math wrong, but 216 different arpeggios. These, along with the scales, actually right now I've got them as 2 octaves. If you can't do 2 octaves, start on 1 octave, but you want to slowly expand beyond that, and hopefully that you're playing these the full range of your horn. So, if it's 1 octave right now, that's great. Start with that and strengthen it. Expand it a little bit later. But 2 octaves, 2.5 octaves, sometimes 3 octaves, depending on what key center we're going on. So how I do this is I get the first six. Lip slurs, and these is sort of like a harmonic progression, where if we're in B flat, where I'm addressing B flat as the root, then I play an arpeggio with B flat as the fifth, then an arpeggio as a B flat as the third, and then I do the same thing, but with minor triads. So B flat is the root of a minor triad, B flat is the fifth of a minor triad, and then B flat is the third of a minor triad. And it kind of comes up, you create this sort of harmonic progression. I'm trying to hear that progression right before I play. After that, then I do the next 7 of those arpeggios, and these are basically seventh arpeggios, where we start with a major 7, 2 octaves, and then each time we're altering one note every time. So we go through B flat major all the way down to B flat fully diminished 7, and then I add the B flat augmented, just an augmented triad. I love the way an augmented triad sounds, and then B flat minor major, so a minor triad with a major 7. After that, the last 5 I try and group together. These are just it's a B, your B flat chord, a B flat triad with extensions, so 9s, 11s, and 13s. I alter them, and I talk about hearing different triads above when we're talking about B flat. So it's explained in there. So you see that, and then I end on a B flat minor 13 because I just like B flat minor 13. So do that in all 12 keys, and this is where we're working with a metronome all the time. And then I finally do an Arbin study, just an interval exercise where that's my cat right here. So, yeah, I do the interval exercise, and then the important thing here is after that I rest before I go and do other things that I'm working on. I'll give myself, and I drink plenty of water while I'm doing this. Like I said, after the long tones, I start adding the metronome, and the metronome's going up 1 beat every day for 100 days. And then at the end of this whole thing that I've got that you can download is I've got a practice journal. What went well? What do you need to improve on? And just kind of take notes. And I think that's really good that you can reflect on that type of stuff. So anyway, here's my giant cat. This is the giant cat. This is Salvi. He likes to hang out and do my warm-ups with me. He also evidently likes to eat a whole lot. So anyway, happy playing. Good luck, and please download the warm-up. Take care.